Hello, how's everybody doing? My name's Davis Unser. I'm a crop and soil science major here, and this is my Info 2 presentation on drones in agriculture. And I'd like to start off with a quick fact that basically the human brain can only comprehend 5 objects at a time. Anything more than 5, and we start to get confused, right? So I know we can do math with big numbers, but I want you to imagine 50 objects on your desk right here, and it simply becomes, harder and harder for our brains to comprehend that. So an interesting fact is that the world is modeled to reach about 9 billion people by 2050. And that's 1 billion more than we have today, which is simply unfathomable for our brains. At this point, it's just, words. So, how are we going to feed 1 billion more people, basically an infinite more amount of people, with the same amount of land we have today, facing all of these environmental impacts we're having? And basically, how we're going to do that is using precision ag techniques, particularly using drones, like I got in the bottom corners right here. So, by the end of this presentation, I want everybody to understand how drone technologies are used to improve modern agriculture and explain the application and integration of different drone services to feed this growing population. I got a model in the bottom right hand corner if you guys want to look at that. We're going to have 9.7 billion people by 2050, which is just absolutely nuts. We're going to do this using scouting drones, which are going to fly over fields and take pictures of areas of deficiency, application drones, which are self-explanatory, and data analytics, which are going to tell farmers and growers everything they need to know about their production process. So what are scouting drones? Unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. Basically what they do is they fly fields and they take pictures, whether in visible light, but most of the time in non-visible light spectrums like near infrared. And basically what these cameras do is they're going to tell us how healthy an area is. Like you can see in the bottom right hand corner, this is an index NDVI, which uses near infrared light, and through a little bit of addition and subtraction, it's not really that complex, but it yields a number between 1 and -1. And if a farmer can look at an area of his field and say, oh, we got areas closer to 1 or areas closer to 0.5 right here, they know that there's areas of deficiency. And more recently, you can use this data and other indexes similar to this to pinpoint exact diseases and exact areas that are not getting enough water, or exact areas where bugs are getting too dense. So these scouting drones can really be extremely descriptive if used correctly. So application drones, like I said, are pretty self-explanatory, but these are used to apply fertilizers and pesticides later in the growing seasons after fruits have already been produced, right? So you don't want to have a full field of corn and drive your sprayer over it and destroy half of it. That doesn't make much sense. So people usually use crop dusters, but they get very busy at this time of year, so a lot of people just don't know what to do. So what you can use is these drones, right? And they are fiscally efficient, right? Because you can go get a drone and a few batteries and fly your field and have it done just like that. And that opens the door for these custom application services, right? If I feel like a good entrepreneur, I can purchase one of these drones and a few batteries and go out and start flying fields myself, which is going to help the farmers, and it's also going to help myself because I can go into specific areas of the fields using these scouting drones and particularly pick out exact areas of deficiencies and go and address those problems with these application drones. That's also going to reduce waste and lower costs of food, which is going to be good for producers and consumers. Now, data analytics. This is probably the most broad section of using drones, but I can't imagine many farmers really understand the string of numbers that are going to be produced by these drones that are going to tell them where they need to spray or where they need to send their application drone, because it's really confusing. And this basically opens the doors for a lot of computer science or computer engineer majors to either start educating the public or start making user-friendly, particularly farmer user-friendly, so extra dumbed down interfaces or software which can interpret this data and spit out exactly where, say, rust is going to be, or where there's too many corn earworms destroying particular areas of crop, right? So also, we can use local extension, which is being utilized right now, to educate these farmers into how they can use this data in order to effectively address their crop problems. So in the bottom, I found this picture. I think it was titled the modern farmer. Right, you can see he's got his little tablet and he's basically controlling his whole farm with these UAVs, and they're driving around. You got the harvesting function, but you also have the scouting drones up in the air, which are going to be the main focus of this, because it's going to be the eyes telling everything else where to go, and they're going to be also spraying particular areas, which is going to keep everything healthy. So in conclusion, precision ag techniques are the way to go to help feed a growing global population using less land and less materials. And this is going to be done by the integration of drone technology. This is going to help improve production of crops, because scouting drones will effectively identify precise areas of deficiency, like particular diseases or particular pest stresses, and these application drones can work in tandem with them in order to reduce overuse of fertilizers and pesticides, and that's going to lower costs for farmers and therefore consumers. And data analytics is going to be the way to help farmers understand their production inside and out and help function as a well-oiled machine. And that's also going to improve efficiency and therefore costs and all sorts of things like that. So here are my references. If anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in the discussion post or the YouTube comments. Either one works for me. Thank you very much.